noise!
Welcome back to the next part of this Truth and Rhythm episode. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you've already done so, please share it with friends. Also become a member by joining Truth and Rhythm on Patreon, or consider donating at funkinstuff.net. Thank you so much for your interest and support. Enjoy. As you mentioned, Omar, the label kind of pressured you a little bit for hits on the
That's the one, yeah.
the record.
That was the most part, yeah.
With your outfits
from Morocco.
mentioned.
From Morocco, yeah. Yeah.
And
That's it.
again, a really nice fold.
Right.
So, I mean, you guys had a couple of hits, but I mean, they still definitely had the full Mandrill sound as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Fencewalk and Hang Loose that we mentioned already, but Hang Loose, really nice guitar soloing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually get the most comments from Fencewalk, from young guitarists who heard me back then, young brothers who I had no clue, man. As I joined Facebook little by little, like all these great guitar players saying stuff like, man, I don't want to toot my horn too much, but the people would come up and say, wow, you inspire me to play, or it really, I learned your solos. Fencewalk that solo was great, blah, blah, blah. It's funny because when I was recording that solo, I still want to do like an overdub and stuff. and the producer said, no, man, that's cool. You're fine. Perfectionist, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's just the solo is great, but also just the track has such nasty syncopation.
Oh man,
and then you're soloing against those horns,
Yeah, I loved playing that live. It was such a thrill playing that one live, man. Oh yeah, because you got that rhythm section and those horns blasting, and you can really just it's like pushes you, It pushes you to keep going, and how high can I take it? How, not just literally high in pitch, but high energy and riffs and stuff,
So by that third album, do you recall, did you feel just more seasoned by then? And what was the experience of creating it, in terms of compared to, like the first or second record?
Yeah, I think we were more seasoned, and we had the most success with that. Started playing bigger shows, and so we obviously saw this was the record company was correct. We should pick the directions, That was good.
Don't Mess with People. That's some real low down funk on that one too.
I love that song, man. People don't know that song, I love that song. It's Carlos came up with that first ding, ba-ding, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ding. He came up with that riff, I said, wow, man, I love this, It was funky as hell, that tune.
Yeah. And your track, Golden Stone, that's a real rocking one. You got some sizzling guitar in that too.
Yeah.
And then the sing-songy stuff.
Yeah, that was the Wilson brothers, I think, came up with the sing-songy stuff, But it's a mix. That's always a mix of like, because I thought that straight ahead thing was Beatle oriented. You know, it's like almost like from "It's Getting Better All the Time" song from the Beatles. And then Carlos decides to throw in this trombone that kind of makes it almost, I don't know, circusy. I wasn't crazy about it. That's all right. But you know, that trombone thing. But then it's a serious tune, man. It's a serious. The lyrics are serious. It's about people, you know, dying from heroin. Man. It's just people dying from. I was seeing when living in East Village, man. Just seeing it all around, you know. That's why I saw Golden Stone like being high on life kind of deal. And the musical influences also, believe it or not, there's John McLaughlin in there because of the odd time signature I threw in the middle. The choruses are all in this odd time signature. They give it an interesting flavor, interesting feel. And the harmonies are cool. I really dug the harmonies. And Coffee does a great B3 solo in the middle of that song too. And then we have this crazy breakdown and then back into the tune, you know, at the end.
And that Neftali joined the group on that one, right? So what happened? Why was there a change there?
I don't recall why Charlie Padro left. There was, I don't know, he just wanted to go do other stuff, you know, it was just something like that. And he's the one who brought Nefty to the show, to the band. At a show, he met him, and I guess they got to know each other, and he brought Nefty into the band.
And how did that change the dynamic, do you think?
Well, Nefty was a really solid groove drummer, you know, so I think he was perfect for the funk direction we were going in, I think. Really solid drummer.
So, Omar, what transpired after that record, which you guys were like at your zenith, really, at that point, and somehow, some way, you started distancing yourself a little bit?
Well,
what happened?
Yeah. This is I get always asked that. I was really super influenced by John McLaughlin and the Mahavishnu Orchestra, and I felt like I wanted to do more of that jazz rock fusion, you know, and so that's the main reason I left the band, and also got into this whole guru meditation group, you know, with McLaughlin, Santana, Narada, Michael Walden, and so I formed a band. I had actually Narada was my drummer for a while until the Mahavishnu Orchestra broke up. You know, I had a good band going, and we were starting to, you know, put a bunch of tunes together and maybe try to get signed. Yeah. But the Mahavishnu Orchestra broke up, and McLaughlin needed a drummer like him, so he got Narada. You know. So and then I went through a few years where I kind of just really left the business because I couldn't get signed. You know, I had this jazz rock stuff. I went on with other musicians doing this jazz rock music, but disco hit, and like I don't know, it just couldn't get anywhere with that project. And also the spiritual aspect of me, I was deeply into this thing, you know, where I was just playing music like kind of new age. I then formed my own little new age band, and I was just playing new age stuff up at Columbia University and stuff like that, chapels, and just it was an interesting part of my life that it was fulfilling in another way. It wasn't big crowds and all that, but there was a depth to it in my heart and my soul that I felt from it as well, you know. And I don't know. So that's the reason I left, basically. And
were they surprised or shocked or?
Yeah, Yeah, there was disappointment. There was disappointment that I was leaving. Yeah. So sometimes I question it. Should I have stayed on longer? You always kind of like, think back about things like, decisions you've made in your life. But I did what I did.
Yeah. Well, because when I've read about it, they say it was a spiritual decision, or that kind of thing. And it sounds like that definitely was part of it.
That was definitely part of it. That was definitely part of it. Yes, absolutely, definitely a part of it.
Had you become a little disillusioned from just the grandiose giant shows and the whole scene of that?
In a way, yeah. In a way, um, I wanted to do a different kind of music, and this, I guess, I don't know how to describe it, but that's probably part of it. But I would have gladly done it with a big scenario with a jazz rock band. So I can't say it was the venues and size of the venues or anything like that. It's just like I wanted to do something different musically.
What do you think of the Just Outside of Town album? Being that you just had the one track, how'd you feel about that project?
Well, when I went back and played that album with them live and stuff, I appreciated it. I think that Mango Meat song is a great song. So I had fun playing with them in Germany and all that, in Amsterdam, and playing some of those tracks. Yeah.
So you had your like swan song, so to speak, right?
Well, that's what they say with that. I had what happened was that I said I'm leaving after this third album, and then I was approached by Carlos saying, "Oh man, the record company said they already printed up these covers for the album, and you're on it." And I said, "Okay, well then, can I put a song on there then?" I guess it's we did that out in Sound City, at that really great studio in California, and it's a very I say, for the lack of a better word, it has a spiritual feeling to it, And some people call it my swan song. I don't know.
But that record, the cover was shot in Century City. Is that right? LA?
Yeah, somewhere out there. I don't know. Somewhere out there. I don't remember. But
I just read that recently. I didn't know because I'm from Los Angeles.
oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see the Lakers hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Miami Heat fan, man. Watch out. You got it. You got our LeBron.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
how would you describe your electric guitar playing style? Is there a signature element of it that you think makes it identifiable and unique? And what would that be?
I think because I have different influences when I play. Definitely, Carlos is definitely in there, because I like the heart of like how he plays with heart, and then I love the speed of a McLaughlin, and the feel of a blues player like B.B. King or something, And so I just try to do it my way, whereas heart and feel come first, has to come first, and you don't want to just be doing a bunch of licks for the hell of it. You got to feel it. If you feel like doing 100 licks like that, great. But you got to feel it. That's the bottom line, because if you feel it, the audience will feel it, and that's what it's all about.
What was your go-to electric guitar?
Well, I had quite a few, but the one for Fencewalk was a Les Paul Special single cutaway. It was a great guitar, yeah. And I mean, I had guilds. When I grew up, my first guitar was brought by my mom because there was a guild factory in Hoboken, New Jersey, and she knew somebody who worked there. So I got my first guitar, single pickup, guild, semi-hollow for $80. Yeah.
Wow, that's a better start than most have.
That's true. I had that for quite a while. Then I got the SG for the first album and second album too, I think.
Did you keep tabs on or keep track of, what Mandrill's path was after you were out of that picture? I mean, because they really ended up shortly after that being just the Wilson brothers, basically, and then different players. And
yeah,
it was definitely a different scene shortly after you were gone.
yeah. No, when I was in that spiritual path, we hardly listened to the radio even. It was like a real serious thing I was in. No dancing, no listen, you name it, and playing my new age stuff. And I didn't really follow, especially disco music hit and stuff. I didn't really follow it much until later on in the 70s. I started to get the itch to start playing again, and I formed a band. In the early 80s, I almost got signed to Capitol. Bo Ray Fleming, Mandrill's manager, brought us into Electric Ladyland again, and we did a whole album there. It was kind of like pop R&B band. It was 7 pieces. We had no horns, but we had these Puerto Rican couple who were great background singers. So it had these great harmonies and funky and pop melodic music, I would say, right? And we recorded a whole album there. Then he rented out Studio 54. We did a showcase there, and the VP was supposed to show, and he never did. He shall be named unnamed, and had us go into a studio, just a little rehearsal studio, and sent 3 guys to listen to us, and it wasn't the same, man. We played our set to 3 people, no audience, no foot tapping, no nothing, and 2 out of 3 of them wanted to sign us, but the third didn't, and that was it. Didn't make it to Capitol. But I've always kept playing music, I've always kept playing music after that. After the 80s, I got back into it. I moved to Miami in 89, and I actually wound up playing 6 nights a week with a Brazilian band. I had never played Brazilian music before. And that was an amazing experience because I learned all these jazzy type chords, which, as a matter of fact, in my song, I Love 0809, I institute some of these jazzy chords,
So the Brazilian was electric, or are you playing acoustic on
that? I was playing electric, and there was another fellow playing acoustic. And yeah, from the 80s on, then I got exposed to a lot of, again, other, like Brazilian and other kinds of music, Latin jazz down here. Got to jam with some great Latin jazz musicians. So it expanded the way I play, or some of the songs I've been trying to work on.
So you have the new song, and I saw you had actually released Parade Paradise Central was a project that you did in 1999, right?
Yeah, it was like more like a demo project that I threw out there because I was hoping to get a producer or something to bring me into a major studio. Because it was done like half of that album was done on like a 8-track studio, and the other half was in a 16-track 1-inch tape. And so it wasn't like the best quality sonically as to like compared today with, or having been in a 24-track studio. So I actually recently told them to take it down. I don't want it out there, because of that. And I'm starting anew with this new song and see what other ideas I have that I want to record.
Well, what was the inspiration and process of creating the new song?
Well, it was one of the songs from the original demo there. I remade it, and I just wanted to modernize it, make it funkier, and just record it better. And just so that's basically it, come up with a better product. And I've been getting good feedback from people.
What do you think, though, Omar? Is it about, now that you feel inspired to pursue that?
Well, I'm a songwriter, I'm a musician. You got to, continue, got to keep going. And to people who followed Mandrill, I mean, they haven't heard anything from me really, and so I wanted to get something out there. Here I am, I'm still here, and this is what I like to do. And I almost felt like because yes, the compliments come from Mandrill of my playing and this and that, but you almost feel like you're frozen in time, as an artist if you're only relying on your old stuff. So as a creative person, you want to create, you want to do things, you want to share, and if it gives people joy, that's all the better, man. That's the best. That's a great thing.
So you're getting a good response, it seems to me, on the record, right?
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah.
What do you think this might lead to for you?
I have no idea. I'm just throwing it out, and whatever happens.
Do you feel like you'd like to do a full record, or and perform, or?
Well, one at a time. I don't know. I'm just taking one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And now it's like become like a promoter. I've been sending emails to the stations. I'm getting on some like 10 different stations now of just public and internet shows, and that I've done myself by promoting myself. But I haven't done any music to do that, so it's a rough, it's a lot of work to promote all that stuff. I'm gonna have to balance that and then record new stuff, practice. I mean, it's a juggling act. I'm hoping hoping perhaps, I don't know, a label or a producer or whatever picks up on it, or or some Spotify curator, what they call them. I'm learning about the whole streaming business.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. Like you said, back then the gatefolds and getting immersed in it and reading all the notes on the record and just
Right.
that whole experience and the big stereo system. And now it's just, stream, listen to it on the go, and
and little headphones, and that's it.
And probably not know who's involved except for maybe just the main name that's on it.
Yeah, I mean, and like for years, our cars don't even have CD players that they're making. It's crazy. So that's why I decided, though, I'm just going to release digitally. If an album comes out, as of recording a few of them, then maybe. But I'm probably going to stay in the digital world because it doesn't seem really profitable or even feasible. If you're gonna make a bunch of CDs that nobody can play in your car. I guess you'll have CD players at home, but a lot of people I know, and I used to have a CD player in my car.
And yet, original vinyl, like I was holding up of those early records, that's very coveted. People
Now that's
really
true.
want those too.
Yeah, that's coming back, they say. But I don't know how many people are actually buying turntables. I don't know. It's a whole new world.
The connoisseurs, yes. What inspired the lyrics of "I Love the Way You Read My Mind"? Was that a particular person?
Well, it's a relationship, oriented song where you're so close that you're reading each other's thoughts and finish each other's sentences. And then the bridge actually can a bit more expansive, it could apply to a friend, where where it's about heart. It's about the words can be like an obstacle, but it's all about heart, all about the heart.
I wish you continued success with it, Omar, and hope there's going to be more to come. What one or two Mandrill tracks are your personal favorites, and why?
Well, I do love Fencewalk. I mean, that's fantastic. I love Don't Mess with People, when you said that, you mentioned. I love that funky track. And I dig my own song, Golden Stone. I thought that was came out really good. And the original song that put us on the map a little bit, Mandrill, the percussion, that was always great to play live. I'll say that was my favorite live, almost, because of the percussion. And the songs that got the people going, I mean, Ape Is High, that would get the crowd going like crazy. so it's hard to pick one, Scott. I know. What can I tell you?
Well, you make good cases for several. Did the name of the song or the name of the band come first, Mandrill?
Oh, the name of the band came after the song, I think, because I actually started that song with a jam. I started with a C minor ninth and a half step up and back down, and then it was Bundy. I started kicking in, and we all jammed on that song for a bit, and it was then we arranged it and it became an actual song. But Charlie Padro, the drummer, is the one who came in one day and said, "Hey man, I just went to the Central Park Zoo and I saw this amazing animal. It's called the mandrill." And he was telling us all about it, about how it looks, the colors, and the aspects of it. How it's an animal that they stick together, and they'll look out for each other. They'll fight together. Like there was something about the animal. And being an African baboon, it was and the Santana shit kind of deal, the African percussion or whatever. It had that vibe. So that's why we took the name there. It's striking. Also, was people were saying, "Wow, that's a great marketing thing." The striking look on that first cover, it would get people attention right away.
I think the group has one of the rare distinctions of having, the same name album, song, and band right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you feel that Mandrill receives the credit and acclaim that it should?
No, definitely not. I mean, we've been sampled by over 200 artists, and we've been sampled by people who are on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I joke with friends that we're so unsung that we're not unsung. So I think we should get more respect. I mean, well, the fans say that about us. If you look at comments on YouTube and Facebook and stuff, the fans are the ones who say that, really, even more than we do.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of funk. If you're talking about like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there's a whole big issue with that, with funk groups for sure, and Mandrill's, part of that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, how surprised are you that the music endures like it does or has?
Well, it is surprising when, well, I guess it's like parents will play it for their kids, and some of them pick up on it. They dig the rhythm, they dig the funk. I mean, there's something lasting about that rhythm and how it gets you, the groove. So I'm not totally surprised.
You just think about, I just don't see how a mandrel could, get over in today's market. I mean, everything is so segmented.
Segmented, yes. Exactly. That is a sad part about the business, how things have gone like that. So even crowds, I mean, I remember when Sly or we played live, I mean, there was a really massive integration of integrated audiences and all that. We were all like one, And now it's like more segregated, it seems to me. And that's caused by the business. The business does that. Business segments and compartmentalizes acts. That part of it is a bit disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 years later, and it seems like it's gone backwards.
Yeah.
Last thing I like to ask is, if you only could have 5 albums, none that you participated in, on a desert island somewhere to listen to, what might those five be?
Oh man, jeez. Well, I'll say Sly, and I'll pick artists: Sly, the Beatles, Santana, John McLaughlin, and Stevie Wonder. I'll take those 5.
Yeah, well, those are all-time classics. Rock, funk, Latin. You got it, soul. You got it all in there.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
So how can folks keep up with what you're up to, and how can they get the single and all that?
I'm on the streaming services. I'm on all those streaming services, and I just created a Twitter account at Omar Mesa Music, and I'm on Facebook. So
And the song again is called "I Love the Way You Read My Mind."
that's it.
Yeah, and it's a catchy chorus too.
Thanks. Yeah,
Hey,
some people have said, a couple of people have said Earth, Wind and Fire and Steely Dan. I don't know, for the lack of a better term.
Yeah, we can't go wrong with those two.
No, that's true.
Wow. Is there anything else you'd like to get out as a message to fans before we conclude?
No, I can't think of anything right now. I appreciate you having me on the show, man. That's fantastic.
A pleasure. Been communicating long enough. It's about time that we actually converse directly,
That's true, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. And good luck to you and your shows, your endeavors.
Thank you. All right, Omar.
All right.
Be in touch. Take care.
So long, brother. Okay.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Truth in Rhythm. A big thank you goes out to our guest as well as to you, the viewer and listener. Also, much gratitude to Pleasure for supplying the show's funky opening and closing music. As a reminder, you can always access the complete list of linked shows by episode at funkandstuff.net. I urge you to support this program and receive the extra benefits along with that by subscribing to the Funk and Stuff channel on YouTube and sharing it with funk, R&B, and jazz lovers, joining Truth and Rhythm's membership program at Patreon, submitting a donation at funkandstuff.net, buying Everything Is on the One, the First Guide to Funk book at Amazon, shopping at the Funky Things store for cool merchandise at funkandstuff.net, and linking through funkandstuff.net for all of your Amazon purchases. In addition, if you're an artist or anyone seeking proven, results-oriented professional marketing, PR, writing, or editing consultation or production, check out the media services section at funkandstuff.net. Also, I encourage you to drop me a line at scottg@funkandstuff.net. I love the feedback, suggestions, guest requests, appearance and sponsorship inquiries, and just talking about my favorite subject, groove-based music. For now, and as always, this is Scott Dr. GX Goldfine saying, keep on vibing to the rhythm of the one.